This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018, episode 197. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. Visit our website. It's infectionpodcast.com. Joining me as he does from the beautiful state. Oh, I had a new name, and I don't remember what it was. We talked about it on Discord. It was something about, I think it was something about how you played Blackout.
I don't remember.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or check my blog, biteoftech.com. As you said, make sure you go to our website. We have on there a Discord link, which is primarily where our group communicates. And it's also a really good place if you want to have news that you can submit to us. There's a news channel in there, and it allows people to, throughout the week, whenever on their schedule, put news in there. And then I always review it before the show starts, and a lot of that news ends up making it into the show. So if you want to give some input into the show, that's an excellent way to do it. Also, whenever we do our games of the week, or just throughout the week we're playing games, we use Discord. It's a free app on your computer or on a phone or whatever mobile device you might have. It's really lightweight, easy to use. And if you also want to join our Steam group, that is a great place to get notifications before the live show. So perhaps you don't usually going to make it to the live show, but you might be at your computer sometimes at this time. You can just join our Steam group. There's a link right there, and a little notification will pop up with Steam saying that we're starting our live show. So if you happen to be at your computer, it's a great time there then to join us. We have our YouTube links and our podcast links. Also, of course, our famous 7 Days to Die countdown clock, or count up clock.
Yes.
So if you're ever wondering how long it's been since 7 Days to Die has put out an update, just jump on our website.
Now, our friend Donnie this week kind of tweeted everybody associated with the game and said, hey, there's a thing on here, and nobody responded. So thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's how they work. So one thing you will notice is there's very little communication from the 7 Days to Die guys, other than the kind of, was it every couple of weeks video that Joe will put out. So he'll do a video just kind of showing, running around, and maybe show off some new features, but there's not really a lot of communication. They don't tend to stream or tweet or do things outside of that, especially Twitter. They're usually very quiet on Twitter. So they do have a blog where there's a lot of people posting. If you look at their posts for Alpha 17,
the forums,
which, as I said on there, or yeah, sorry, their forums. There's for the last 504 days, they've been having people post on one forum thread. So it's, I don't know how many, it's many pages long. I don't remember how many hundred of people making comments. So I'm sure they don't sit there and read those all day.
I don't know, but there you go. That's what we've got. We've got the countdown clock, and I don't know how long it'll stay on the front page, depending on how long it takes them to do an update, I guess.
We'll keep it up there until an update at least.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there we go. Then we'll do that.
So if it hits 700 days, we know we've got a problem.
Oh yeah, we do. We got a real problem. Real quick, just want to say a quick note. The first look at Fallout 76 is going on right now. They're doing a limited beta on the Xbox One from 7 p.m. tonight live, if you're watching this on the Tuesday, till 11 p.m. So come next week's episode, we'll have whatever opinions of that when we have a chance to go back and look at the gameplay. I'm watching a stream right here, but I don't have any audio on it, so I can't really see what all's going on. But just a note-wise, next week we'll have the reaction from people that had a chance to play it these couple of hours tonight. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that next week. But it's just know it's going on as we're sitting here live. I'm watching it.
And we will be talking a little bit about. There was a press statement, I guess,
Yeah.
put out by Bethesda.
Let's open with that. It's short. So what's Bethesda talking about? What's going on?
All right. So they put out I guess this is a official letter. I mean, it's pretty much kind of a scan of a page. And it says, so I'll just kind of go through this. As a development studio, we've taken a lot of journeys. And of course, you remember him saying journeys a lot in the official announcement that they did.
Yeah.
He kept saying journeys. That's like their thing now. We've tried not to repeat ourselves, yet all of our games have a similar DNA. We decided to try something new in 2015. It says very new and very scary for us. Take one of our worlds and make it online only. Once the idea of Fallout Online survival game stuck, there was no turning back. But still, some worrying questions. Will people want this from Fallout? Will they want it from us? How the hell are we going to make this? And what exactly is this? Since that time, we've grown our 4 studios across North America and built a game world 4 times the size of our last. We developed all our new technologies and services while bending older technologies to do things we didn't think it could. We pushed ourselves in new ways that surprised even us. Our worlds, whether it be Fallout, Elder Scrolls, or the coming Starfield, are important places for us. We do everything we can to treat them with care. We know they mean just as much to you, that the time you spend in them is important, and you want each time you experience one to be special and all it can be. And that with Fallout 76, you two are left wondering, what exactly is this? And the answer to that question, more than any game we've made, is that is up to you. With our beta starting tomorrow, which is today, right?
Yep.
It's finally time for Fallout 76 to begin its real journey, because it's all of you who will truly bring life to the world. Usually after years of development, we finally finish, release the game, and take a break. With 76, we feel we have not finished, but reaching a starting line where all new work begins. We all know with the scale of our games and the systems we let you use, that unforeseen bugs and issues will come up. Given what we're doing with 76, we know we're opening everyone up to all new spectacular issues none of us have encountered. Some we're aware of, some such as areas where performance needs to improve with lots of players. Others we surely don't. We need your help finding them and advice on what's important to fix. We'll address all of it now and after launch. So I want to thank you for the support. And so pretty much this is telling me that this is almost an unofficial alpha. I mean, if you just listen to what they're saying.
Boy, that was a pathetic statement. That was pathetic. Bethesda is one of the esteemed AAA game studios in the industry, and to have such I read through that. I saw that in the notes and read through it. To read such a statement from Bethesda where it's they're already apologizing for the game being an absolute piece of crap. They're already admitting the game is going to be total garbage, and that's their
this is the beginning. We're going to fix it.
We don't know. I mean, they're literally already admitting the game sucks, which is terrible. That is such a bad mindset to already be in. Again, this is I can only blame them because they have made the details about this so sparse, so cryptic. Instead of just coming out and saying what the game was, what the details were at E3, they did certain things at E3, then little bits and pieces of information crept out during interviews. Then they gave all of these game blogs a couple of hours to run around in the game, which I think was a terrible idea. Because again, nobody's played it except for what, 24 journalists or whatever, and then all this whole time, public opinion has been made on no information. Nobody's played it. Nobody's got their hands on it. Prior to 3 weeks ago, the only information we had was them talking in E3. Was it? That was all we had. And you had this whole public opinion already made up that the game was going to suck, And then Bethesda releases this statement that says the game is going to be buggy. It's not going to be finished whatsoever. Give us time.
I think they probably would have been more successful with this, because I think the expectations are way out of whack from their original statement that they made.
Yes.
I think that they almost would have been better saying, you know what, we're going to make a Fallout sandbox. We're going to make a world where you could just kind of run around and be in the world of Fallout, and then
But it's
open up
multiplayer.
modding and things. But that's what I'm saying is opening up modding and make a sandbox where people can play around, and you have role players in there and people, you know, just doing the silly stuff that they like to do in these types of games. You know, have a flexible building system, pretty much make Fallout 4 and just make it a sandbox to where it has all the same base building and everything else abilities that they added as mods at the end of that, because they did a lot to add. Like for your bases, you could just go crazy and make things that had switches and conveyor belts, and just it would do all kinds of stuff. I don't sense that any of that's actually in this, and so it's not really a sandbox. It's just a multiplayer Fallout world that, from what I can tell, doesn't have the features of Fallout that people that really enjoy it like for instance, NPCs that you can talk to and learn about the world, and they want people to create their own stories. Well, then make it a sandbox. Say this is a world where you create the story, not this is the beginning, you know, and all this. They did hint out that you are the ones who they seem like they're kind of going that direction, that we're going to make our own stories, but I don't feel like they've given the tools from what I've seen so far to make it to where you actually can make your own world. You can just run around and shoot each other and place a base and then blow up everything at the end. I mean, that's what I've seen so far.
But again, this is all because they were not clear at E3 what the game was going to be. They described it as a single player multiplayer hybrid, and as the months have unfolded, it has turned out that there is practically no single player whatsoever, and it is almost exclusively
if you didn't have the other players, there would be nothing really to accomplish.
At least that's what we think. Again, nobody
would be running around just killing creatures from the videos that we've seen at this point.
So they have totally screwed themselves. I'm still of the mindset I will probably get it at some point. I won't get it on launch. But I'm sure somebody will con me into buying it. It is a Fallout game. At the end of it, it will be a supported game. They won't. They're not just going to release it and 3 months later they're going to oops, the bad things. Goodbye. That's not going to happen. It's Bethesda's behind it. But the enthusiasm is not there. There is so much more enthusiasm for Red Dead than there is this.
You think it's possible that they're going to, over the next 6 months, fix it and actually make a good game?
Possibly,
do you think they're kind of in a situation right now where they were trying to make one thing, it didn't end up working, and now they just have kind of a low FPS multiplayer world? You know, because I don't know what their goal is. But they've never told us our real goal on this. I mean,
I kind of disagree with that a little bit. They did, and I think at E3 when Todd Howard was talking, he said that they didn't really know what they wanted to do. They just knew they wanted to make a multiplayer game, and they said they stuck to that, and that statement indicates the same thing. In 2015, they decided we're going to make a multiplayer Fallout, and they did. I mean, we're going to have one released here soon.
It's an open world in the theme of Fallout. I mean, it's not really Fallout. It's not the game Fallout. No other Fallout's been like this. It's got elements from Fallout.
That is true, but it's a Fallout game. But nevertheless, that's what they stuck with it, and so I'm not sure that they really do know what they want.
Do you think Fallout needs, for it to be Fallout? Do you think there needs to have to be a story and an arc? And I mean, if you look at all the previous Fallouts, you follow a story. There's an arc to it. You know, like you follow something and you make it to the end. This the end is, you know, from what we've seen, is the nuclear blast. Perhaps there's something more beyond that, but I don't see the arc of, like, you're discovering things and something amazing is happening, and you know, this story is unfolding in front of you, you know, and then there's a big thing. I just don't see any of the normal arc that they have. So I think that that's where a lot of people get frustrated that expect that feeling of Fallout, because that's how I feel of Fallout, is finding that story, discovering new things about the world. There are the stories that, so there are voice acted things that you find through the world that do tell the history. Maybe that'll give you the same feeling. You know, maybe we're misrepresenting it, and when you get in there, you actually, that's kind of replacing the NPC of hearing these stories and learning as you go through.
Yeah, and again, we'll all find that out. There's a couple people playing right now. I'm watching the stream on the Xbox. The frame rate already looks to be an issue, just from this. Just
the very beginning, I heard Jericho say, you know,
his eyes hurt.
This frame rate is going to hurt my eyes.
Yeah, it looks pretty rough. I'm watching it right now. It looks like it's cleared up a little bit. Do
you think those servers are pretty full at the moment, though?
I'm not sure what's going on. He's getting attacked by some dogs right now. He's shooting at them. I've yet to see any other players. So as this kind of unfolds, I may break in with something that's happened or happening.
If you see something new that's unique, that
if I see something that really jumps out,
in learning about, other than what we saw in those videos that the different blogs and news websites showed. I mean, nothing stood out in the whole video for me. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. So we'll see here, November 14th. Lots of stuff coming out. Obviously, we'll talk about it here shortly. Red Dead's coming out Friday. I think there's gonna
Thursday night. I mean, depending where you're at, you're in Europe. Friday.
Yeah, I mean it'll be midnight Friday, but midnight Friday is the official release of the game.
Yep.
And then Red Dead will be out, so Red Dead's out on the 26th. Fallout is out less than 3 weeks later. It's funny, they're doing a Tuesday, they're doing a Wednesday release.
So Wednesday at midnight, is that what they're doing?
Yeah, well, yeah, Wednesday. It says November 14th.
Okay.
So that would be Wednesday. So that's out less than 3 weeks. Call of Duty is out right now. A lot of people playing that. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of competition going on. There's a lot of AAA titles. I think a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are hyped up on Red Dead. But before we get into any of that, because I totally forgot, Brian, we skipped right past it. Our previous game of the week, we played Call of Duty Blackout, and you had actually not played
before that.
You didn't play before last week's episode. I was the only one that had played. So I see you've been playing alone now. A couple times I've seen you playing. Let's hear it. Let's get the Brian with an I stamp of approval or disstamp.
I've mostly been playing the multiplayer. I've been not playing Blackout so much.
Really?
Because it's Blackout for me is more fun to play with other, people in our group. And so I've said, like last night, I said, hey, does anyone want to play Blackout? No one took me up on it, so I just play multiplayer. But for me, it's getting used to the guns, and there is a difference though, because it'll help. The multiplayer helps with the very short range SMG generally. Blackout, one unique thing about it is it really is beneficial to be good with long range guns. So I did play, a couple nights ago. We played Friday night.
Yeah.
And then I played some Saturday with everybody. But I do enjoy it. It's something that I think I had to get more used to, and just kind of learn the ins and outs of it. But it seems solid so far. It seems. The one thing that I do not enjoy, that we'll be talking about a little bit later, is the lag, I guess. I'll be hiding behind a wall and somebody will shoot me because they don't see that I've gone around the corner yet. Just stuff like that I think they're going to have to fix, because they've actually, do you actually want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, let's go.
There's a YouTube video, but I don't know. Actually, I have a YouTube video there. If you want to start at that time.
Yeah,
there's just a little bit of it that I found that has a statement.
And this is we've shown videos from him before. This is our friend Battle Nonsense, and he makes incredibly in depth. But when I say incredibly in depth, these videos have got tens of hours put into them to track all of this network information, to not just do it once, but to get an average, meaning he's running it multiple times, getting all the information, calculating
He's
it
got
all.
like 2 Xbox Ones that he runs simultaneously to be able to figure out certain rates, and 2
It's incredible.
PlayStations that he. So he's got quite the setup to be able to figure, and on a fiber connection, like he's gone all out just to get this accurate information.
Yes. So he's got a quick little video here on TikTok. Brian, I'm going to leave our mics up and just start talking when you want to when we want to come back.
Okay.
Let me. So here is our friend Battle Nonsense. The title of the video is BO4 20 hertz tick rate downgrade because of blackout.
So the network delay is quite frankly terrible in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 because the engine is not yet optimized to run Blackout at a high enough tick rate, and the developers decided to run the normal multiplayer at 20 Hz as well, even though it ran at 60 Hz during the beta, and World War II still runs at 60 Hz as well. But does this also apply to the PlayStation 4 version of this game? When we take a look at the network data that are captured by using port mirroring on my Switch, we can see a 20 Hz server send rate and a 60 Hz client send rate in the normal multiplayer on the PlayStation 4. And in Blackout we also get those 40 Hz when the match starts, and then the server send rate decreases to 20 Hz as the match progresses. Same goes for the PlayStation 4 Pro. So in terms of the networking, there does not seem to be a difference between PC, the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. One thing that is missing on console though...
That's one thing. I mean, if you look at that, all three, the PC and the 2 consoles, they pretty much have the exact same tick rate as far as it starts out higher and then it lowers, or it lowers down to an even rate at what is it, a couple minutes into the game, after the first 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah, once a lot of players die.
But see, that's the opposite of the normal behavior, which doesn't make any sense. If you look at what Fortnite struggled with, and you look at what PUBG struggled with a lot of people, when there's the max number of people alive, the tick rate would drop because the server was struggling to keep up. And then as people die and the world kind of levels out, then you see that the tick rate would start to go up over the rest of the game. And so what's strange is this is exactly the opposite. And I don't know if this is a server issue, or maybe they do a really good job of relevancy to make it so when people are far apart from each other, like, it's changing how it works. And then as people start to get closer and closer together, like that's when it starts to struggle. I don't know. But the weird thing is, since they're all exactly the same, it almost seems like a server issue, because they're identical, which means it's probably less likely the client and more likely the server, since you would expect to see a little bit of variance between the PS4, the Xbox, and the PC. But there isn't really variance. So I'm assuming that, but I mean, there is hope for that, because if they can figure out their server, then most likely they can get their consistent tick rate up to around 60, like it is, or between 40 and 60.
What is tick rate for people that maybe aren't familiar with this?
So it's like the refresh rate of the server.
It's essentially the frame rate of the server. Think of it as an FPS, but for the server.
Yeah. So the server it sends updates on an interval. So as you run through the world, what they want is something like 60 updates per second, let's say. You want to know as soon as information is available, like it's sending you fast enough to where you notice it right away. The issue that we're going to run into here, and that what concerns me, is they said that on the regular multiplayer, they lowered the tick rate to 20. And personally, it's become very obvious when I play on the regular multiplayer that you'll see someone go around a corner, the person's still firing, and then they die after they pass the corner.
I have,
because it's not synced up, and it's letting people move without updating quickly enough and not seeing where they're really at. I
don't know if this is correlated or not, but Brian, I think I'm a pretty good COD multiplayer player. I'm a pretty above average player when it comes to multiplayer, typically leading the lobby. I am getting my absolute ass handed to me in the multiplayer on Black Ops 4, and I don't know if it's a conjunction of the slower update rates and the game is just not playing like it usually does. There's other issues as well.
One gun that's way OP.
No, I know that there's a gun that's OP.
The dual pistols that you can get when you max out your SMG or you get max level your SMG, that's a dual pistol that just sprays ammo. People are going in and getting like 20 kills, before dying easily.
Yeah,
with it. So it's kind of throwing off the feel of the regular games because you have people that are just leveling everybody without even really trying.
But not even that. There's certain ways that Call of Duty games play out. Typically,
yeah. If
you lay bullets on somebody first in Call of Duty, you 90% of the time you got the kill on previous Call of Duties. That's typically how it is. First one to shoot, first one to land bullets, most of the time gets the kill. That's just how Call of Duty is. That's how quick and how fast-paced it is. In this game, I am laying down what feels like a full magazine on people, and they're still able to respond and then kill me before I can kill them. And I'm noticing that and it's not that it's instant kill. I don't know what it is. This Call of Duty does not feel like the multiplayer does not feel like any other Call of Duty multiplayer I've played. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the tick rate. Maybe it's because it's the first time I'm playing on keyboard and mouse. But I'm having a fine time in Blackout.
I think that there's buffs or something that people are doing because I've noticed there's people that I have to put a full clip into to kill, and that's actually putting a full clip into them. And so I think there's armor that you can get. It seems like the characters are a little bit different. So there's certain characters that have more resilience. I think that people are figuring out certain builds of characters that you have to put a full clip in. We're not picking armor. We have whatever character that maybe has a perk that we like. And their characters, I'm finding that I can get two-shot by somebody easily. Like I run the exact same thing. I'm unloading an SMG into somebody and they'll turn around and two-shot me. And it's just like that. And I'm trying to look at what gun they have and figure out what it is. But I am noticing a difference. I felt like in World War II, if I could get a similar number of bullets into somebody, it was generally even. There's some other things in play that people are doing with their characters to make it so some people are really difficult to kill. Or there's the people running around with those crazy guns that are they're spraying down 3 to 4 people in one go. Like they'll be surrounded by people. They just turn around and spray and they're dying.
And I've got the latency. There's an option where you can turn the latency on so you can see it in the upper left hand corner, show your frame rate and your network latency. And my ping is not outrageous. I'm hovering around anywhere between 40 and 80 milliseconds ping, which is pretty average for a game like that. Nothing crazy. And I think
it's going to benefit people that have worse ping.
But I'm getting slaughtered, Brian. Like I'm going 7 and 20, and that's like a good game. Like I'm just getting absolutely massacred, and I couldn't figure out why. I just stopped playing it because I was getting so pissed off with it. Maybe because this according to that graph, this is the first Call of Duty that's had this bad of a run rate, the server tick rate.
I don't know why they matched the regular to Blackout. They should be keeping them separate.
Maybe they're on same machines or whatever, and they're.
Maybe they have the same servers and they set the servers to run at that. But they need to figure that out because people have a different expectation of multiplayer. Like they're willing, Blackout's new. They're willing to have it be a little bit different of an experience. But you know what? People expect to have a certain feel to multiplayer Call of Duty, just like you did. Like you've done so many of them before that you know how it's supposed to feel, and it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. So, but in terms of Blackout, really enjoying Blackout, having fun, getting. We got our first team victory over the weekend, which was cool. We won a game there. That was a good time. So I'm really enjoying Blackout. I think I'm enjoying it more than I enjoy PUBG, Fortnite, or anything else. It's new, obviously, so that factors into it. But I'm enjoying it. I don't find myself forcing. I'm not forcing myself to play it. I'm frequently starting the session, asking other people to play, or just playing solo, which I hated doing in all those other games. I'm enjoying playing solo as well. So yeah, I think they got a real winner on their hands. And we'll.
Do you think that PUBG should be nervous?
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
You've had some time to play it.
We'll talk about. Should they be nervous? I don't think so. We'll look at their numbers a little bit later on in the show. I think that'll kind of answer the question. But I mean, I don't know. It's a $60 title, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Well, you got to think in the cheating world, though, that's not a problem. So there's the benefits of both. If you have a game that's cheap, cheaters will be more willing to lose a copy over and over again. But I think that if you have, $60, I think they're only willing to lose that so many times.
Yeah, and what will happen inevitably, because Call of Duty's got a track record of doing this, they will release the Blackout mode as a separate standalone launcher or a separate standalone game for either $20 or $40 in the coming months. They've done this before. They did it with the Call of Duty 4 remaster. It was a pre-order bonus. You bought the game and it came with Call of Duty 4. A lot of people wanted Call of Duty 4, not the base game. So a couple months later, they released Call of Duty 4 for, I want to say, $40.
Yeah.
So they've got a track record of doing that. And I would imagine the same thing will happen with Blackout. I don't know why it wouldn't. They'd be stupid not to release it as its own thing down the road for 20 or 40. If they were smart, they'd release it for
just
20.
The Blackout piece.
Just the Blackout piece of it. For people that just want the BR experience for 20. If they're smart, $20. Because people have no problem buying
I think they'll
that.
wait for their player numbers to kind of drop.
They will. They'll wait a couple
bit.
months. They'll wait. It'll be after Christmas, because a whole bunch of people will get this game for Christmas, and it'll be after Christmas, and then they'll do that. They've got a track record of doing that before, so
yep. That's
what I say. But I would recommend the $60 price point. I don't have a problem with it at all. I think the game is well deserving of it. They have done a really good job with Blackout. I was concerned. I didn't know what they were gonna do. I don't know about you, Brian, but I think they did a really good job. They clearly grasp the genre and they understand the play style. The game is very fast paced. I'm not getting so pissed off that every time I play PUBG, I play 2 games and I'm so livid that some bullshit that happens in the game. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I get pissed off in Blackout too. But it's not 2 games. But it's not 2 games. I'll play 8 games, and over 8 games enough, I just get ticked off enough and I say, yeah, done. I don't want to play anymore right now. But in Fortnite and in PUBG, a couple games and you're like, God damn it. I'm just done.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. I can't do it anymore. And I haven't noticed that yet. It is still new, so that's part of it, but we'll see.
Yeah. And one nice thing is, you're used to the leveling system and everything with the standard multiplayer.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So you're talking okay, which one do you want to talk about? The multiplayer?
No. Let's talk about the leveling system in Blackout. It means nothing. Nothing. Yes. The level system doesn't coincide with everything. And I'm foaming at the mouth to hit the next level. I am crazy trying to get kills to get to the next level. It doesn't mean a damn thing, but it is. I am launching the game specifically to level up, even though it means nothing. But
imagine how they could have messed it up if they would have let it affect the game at all. Because they would get people that got excited about it, but in the end, it would have ruined the experience. One important thing about BR is that everyone is the same. It has to be a level playing field, and unlike multiplayer, where you can have people kind of get more powerful, get better guns, upgrade their guns. I think what people will learn to really like about this is that you can go and not have somebody who sits there and plays it every day for 4 hours at least, control the whole game. Like it does come down to then more skill. If you're more talented, you outthink the person. It's not who's put in the grind to get a better weapon upgrade, or kind of like what you're running into, and people are running into with these crazy pistols in the regular multiplayer. Like, I'm just glad that they didn't do anything like that, and they kept it in kind of the BR feel.
I really like the fact that they've got a leveling system that means nothing.
Yeah.
In Blackout, that is. I don't know if you're finding yourself. I'm a very competitive person, and I am actively trying to stay above the level of the people I'm playing with. That is my drive. It's as stupid as it sounds. As a competitive person, just in general, competitive in general, it's driving me crazy. I'm wasting time right now. I could be leveling up. I could be getting a kill a game and getting my 10 points, working up towards the next level.
Yep. That's how I feel. And it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. You know, if they'll do some sort of a skin thing with levels. There's a lot they could do from here on out. I'm sure they're looking at the Fortnite model.
But it's slow. It's a slow level. Like, if you have a good game, you're not going to win it, but you have a good game, you may get 40 points. That would be 4 kills or 3 kills and 2 cleanups or something like that. So a good game, and the levels are a couple hundred XP a level. So I've played as much as I played. I think I'm level 7 or 8. So it's not a.
I think Tag's like 12 or something. It's ridiculous.
And he's playing a lot. But even with him playing a lot, he's not level 40, and I'm level 10 still. It's a very slow. If you look at single player,
I mean, there's people that are max level and they're already a couple prestiges in.
Yeah, which is common in multiplayer because you can get a lot of XP. You have a really, really good game, you can get a lot of XP. But in this, there's not really a way to do that. You don't get kills, you don't get XP. That's how it is. I mean, if you don't get a kill, you don't get any XP. Even if you do damage, you don't get XP. Yeah. You got to kill somebody. So I like it. And it's even, listen to this, Brian. This is going to be breaking news for all of our listeners. From our friend PHVCK in chat, Black Ops 4 is the most fun BR out today. It gets my seal of approval. That is big news for the Infection Podcast community.
Yeah, there you go.
When it gets that seal of approval, this is the roughest seal of approval. He doesn't even approve the podcast.
He hates the podcast.
He hates the podcast.
Away.
He won't even give the podcast a seal of approval, but Blackout gets it. And all joking aside, it's a really solid game. I'd highly recommend it for $60. I don't know how it is on the PlayStation and Xbox, but I've enjoyed playing it on the PC. So much easier to play. Just right-click on battle.net, open it up, you're good to go. Much easier experience. So,
yep. Very good. All right. So do we have? Let's go ahead and talk about H1Z1 here really quick.
Which H1Z1? Yes.
The Z1 Battle Royale.
Okay. Lots of updates.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about some updates that are coming out. They have 1.3.
Thank you, Deacon.
Deacon, thank you for the subscription.
Didn't mean to blow everybody's ears out there. Sorry.
Yep, and that's 9 months in a row.
Wow.
So thank you very much.
Thanks, Deacon. We appreciate you.
We are getting old.
Speak for yourself.
And so on here, they've got it to where the Halloween event is coming up.
Yep.
So that's one big thing about 1.3. It's coming out here on the 24th, so that should be tomorrow. And then they'll have a Haunt Fest arcade mode. So this is on the optimized Z2 map. So you get these candies that spawn, give you enhanced abilities, so like Sugar Rush and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They did some updates to the Forge Light engine, which sadly they're still using that.
Big updates.
Yeah, so FPS and performance update improvements.
This is the
first time that engine's been touched for a long time.
That's what I just wanted to say real quick. Not to diatribe, but this is the first time I remember seeing them actually
mention
the engine. Yeah. Instead of just performance and server improvements. We do this every time. Like, this is the Forge Light engine update. Like, that's big stuff. That's the engine.
And yeah, so this is something where they're actually mentioning it. So that was interesting. Solo spectate for your killer. So they're gonna have it to where you can spectate the person that killed you, and then the killer of the person that you were spectating. So kind of like Fortnite, where you can just keep following the next person as the deaths go to the end of the game. Fix to prevent the parachute in building getting stuck. Improvements to loot distribution in the dynamic gas, so less clothing and more guns, which why are they doing clothing in the first place anyways? People already are skinning their stuff. Like, what's the point of clothing? Showdown reward items, which we'll show here in a minute. And then new skins for the Witch Hunt crate, which we'll also show. You can rotate your vehicle in the customize UI using the arrow keys now. And then it says dozens of bug fixes. So
I like it.
that is the that is 1.3. They did have a post in Trello showing the season 2 rewards. I think we showed a few of them, but this has all of them.
Here's the bronze silver AR,
which looks gold to me. I guess that's bronze.
It is
on there, but I don't see silver.
I don't know. It says the name. I'm looking at the name of the file.
Okay, so what it is it's bronze and silver. So the two levels.
Oh, okay.
It's bronze and silver, not the color of the gun. I'm sorry.
I was looking at the file name. I apologize. That's my mistake.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'd look at it for.
So I don't know what these are. These are just the different ones that are in here.
So they have so they have the royalty AR.
There's the royalty.
The bronze/silver AR.
Yep.
They have the gold-plated AR.
Yep.
Or gold platinum, sorry. Gold platinum AR. The diamond and master AR. And then the royalty AR.
Yes.
So those are all the different levels. So if you are paying attention to the seasons and trying to level up in that's been released. And then I have an individual image because they didn't have them nicely in here. So these are just different ones from Witch Hunt.
This is hot.
So this is a Jeep skin.
This looks like
has a very Halloween feel.
This looks literally like the image on the front literally looks like they went into the word clip art section and searched Halloween. They did this on purpose. This is the most asinine, ridiculous cover on this vehicle. I guarantee you, if you opened up Word and searched Halloween, you could find this. This is so funny. This is such a troll skin. Like, it's so low quality. It looks like crap, but it's funny.
Well, and also like this video, like the picture angle, like you can see the pixels on the car, like along the windshield. They took like the lowest resolution possible picture of this because it looks like one of those games. It's kind of like an overhead view game. That's what that car looks like to me. Like, it doesn't look like what normally looks in game.
If somebody could find this image, because I know it exists, please.
Spooky spiders.
Yeah, literally. Like it's a couple spiders, some ridiculous spider webs, and it's like a super bright orange. I mean, it's ridiculous. I love it though. It's funny. I wish I could. This is a cool skin. I like this.
Yep.
So we got that.
Yep. And then we've got now this. I want to get your opinion on this. It looks like remember, it's Halloween. It looks to me like a unicorn.
It is a unicorn
with a red stripe.
It's a unicorn it's got a heart on it. Yes, it got a heart right near its tail. It's a unicorn, it appears.
Okay, but why is it? It looks like it's standing around a little racetrack.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I was looking at it, I'm like, what does this have to do with Halloween?
I like the color though. The red and the black looks cool.
Yeah, it's just odd though. I mean, I just couldn't make sense of why this is in Halloween.
It makes no sense, but it's a cool looking skin.
Yeah, so that's the second one. Now they've got a mask that is pretty much the tie-dye. You remember that brown mask that they had originally for Halloween? It's kind of like a scarecrow type of mask. This now has the tie-dye texture to it, and then a blue hat on top.
Yep, like a scarecrow. Scarecrow
tie-dye.
Yeah.
And then they have a pumpkin green flaming head mask.
Yep. Jack-o'-lantern.
It's a jack-o'-lantern, but it's got green eyes. Doesn't really look scary. I mean, it's not like some of them that you see that are really trying to look creepy. It doesn't really look creepy. It looks a little more playful, but it is a flaming jack-o'-lantern. So that's the skins that you can see in the new Halloween thing that will be released here, with this next update tomorrow.
And they're sticking to their schedule. Got to give them credit.
Yep.
They put this stuff on the roadmap. They're checking on it. They're doing it. They're keeping things up to date. So we'll continue to cheer them on.
All right. Do we want to go over the Dead Matter thing, and then we can do the game or start the raffle after?
Yeah, before we do Dead Matter, let's just do this real quick.
Okay.
With Just Survive, they because it is H1Z1 still.
Oh yes, because this is just a. Yeah.
So they are actually shutting down the servers tomorrow for Just Survive. We talked about this in the past.
11 p.m. 11 a.m.
Pacific.
East,
so
West Pacific.
2
So that'll
p.m.
be
Eastern.
Yep.
They are officially shutting down the Just Survive servers now. When we covered this a couple months ago. We mentioned that, we're going to have to do some big send off or whatever. But then last week we talked about the fact that Jace, and this blog post mentions that they're currently working out a deal with H1Z1, Z1 Battle Royale and NatG Mobile to bring Just Survive back.
Yep.
So they're going to, all indication is that is going to happen. So this is what we want. We want, as we talked about that Twitter poll 2 weeks ago, shut the server down, and then they can just do whatever they want. They don't have to worry about maintaining and wasting their time keeping a live game up and running. So we have to pour one out for the for H1Z1.
Yeah. So I mean, if this is something that you really want to do, make sure you get in there before 11 a.m. Eastern or Pacific tomorrow. So this will be your last chance to maybe run around as it is right now. I assume they're not going to just throw it in there as is.
But I don't know why you want to run around. I mean, I wish they'd put the servers up from like 2.5 years ago. I'd jump in that and run around. That'd be fun. But yeah, you can do that tomorrow. So 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Servers will be shutting down. Somebody I'm sure will be streaming it on Twitch. So check out our Twitter. I'll retweet whoever's streaming that.
And this will pretty much be the last true hands-on that Daybreak has now with anything H1Z1.
It appears that way, yes.
Because they keep saying that Daybreak will have artistic control, I think is what they said. I don't know that that's even true. There's no indication that I've seen that even hints at Daybreak having any choice in anything happening with H1Z1 anymore.
Well, they have half decision or whatever. But Z1 Battle Royale is
have you ever heard Jace or any of them say, well, here's what Daybreak wants us to do?
No.
I've never heard that come out of their mouth.
No, I haven't heard that. And Jace, I mean, Jace is, I don't know what kind of control Jace even has, to be perfectly honest with you. Because it is a 50-50 split between NatG Mobile and Daybreak, which is the new co-project that they're working on.
Partners, yeah.
So, yeah, the new partnership, exactly. So I don't really know. But yeah, Daybreak is pretty much lost. It appears that they've lost control of almost everything H1Z1. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This will be good. The game is at such a terrible spot right now anyway. It doesn't matter if they shut it down, frankly. The good news is if they can shut it down, they could bring the game back in a much better state, which would be really cool.
Yep. What'll be interesting, I mean, the whole point of NatG Mobile was to make mobile versions of all of these titles, not just H1Z1, but perhaps. Now, if you go look at something like EverQuest is, I went and played it a couple weeks ago. I logged into EverQuest just to kind of see if anything had changed. That game is so difficult to play. The interface has not been touched since like 2000. They haven't touched the UI. And it just makes you wonder, like, what are they doing? They have a full-time team that does stuff with EverQuest. They're getting ready to release an expansion for EverQuest. I mean, this is 20 years since the game has been released. They're getting ready to release, I think, their 27th expansion or something like 20-something expansion. But they've never bothered to fix any of the UI or make it more user-friendly during that 20 years. I just don't understand that. So how they're going to make as is something like EverQuest work on a tablet when it's barely usable with a mouse and keyboard. You have to click so many buttons and nothing makes sense. Like, they're going to have to rework it all. So I'm hoping that if they do that, like, bring some of those changes back into the regular client so that it's actually playable. Because if there's a player base of people playing that, they may appreciate a little bit of love. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if that maybe, people will stop playing and they'll start playing on mobile because it'll be easy to use and they can still have all the same experiences. I don't know, but it's weird. I just Daybreak is a mystery to me on how they handle things.
Yeah. So rest in peace, H1Z1 Just Survive. It was fun. Hopefully we'll be back and better than ever. Real quick before we move on to Dead Matter, Brian.
Yep.
I'm watching this Fallout stream again. This is Jericho's playing it, Tucker, and I've seen now twice when he's been in the outskirts of a town, he'll be getting very close to the town, and then all of a sudden, all of the foliage just pops in, like all the trees and all that stuff. And even I've seen his facial reaction to it a couple times is like you're kind of like you're pretty much like in the town, and then pop, it's all these trees and bushes and whatnot all just kind of pop out, and the chat of course is, it's having a good time with it, with the oofs and all the other. Well,
okay, so I mean, this is an issue. But this is on
the console, so who knows?
They've not really done multiplayer.
Now, but this is a limitation of an engine and the console. That stuff.
I know, that's what I'm saying is
that stuff is a console limitation.
Their engine, has it ever done multiplayer? What's a game that they've done multiplayer of on their engine?
I don't know if Elder Scrolls Online is on that engine. But Elder Scrolls Online,
it seems like it's a very different engine.
Yeah, I'm not.
It seems like they wouldn't be having these struggles if they were using that engine.
Yeah, but this isn't even a multiplayer struggle. This is just a This is the game is not meant to be run on an Xbox thing with the trees popping in last second. That's not a server thing. That's a client thing.
Yeah, and it's as they said from their letter. I think that they are well aware of these issues, but it now comes down to time. Having the time to actually do this.
Server just crashed. F.
Nice.
All right.
Maybe that's why he was having delays.
Yeah. Now it is now prompting him. It says, "Do you own this game?"
Nice.
Interesting. So we'll see what comes of that. Okay. What do we have?
So we got a Dead Matter video. So they do their vlog.
What is Dead Matter, real quick? It's been a while since we've talked about it.
So Dead Matter was a game that was kickstarted. What's it? A year ago now?
Yeah, something like that, right?
About a year ago, I think.
Maybe 8 months.
It is a zombie survival game that it's not going to be a high number of players per server. Just from everything I've seen, it is more of you and your friends and maybe some other people. It's more of a you against the environment type of a game, but you can play it with your friends. So you're trying to create a certain atmosphere and get it to where you are trying to conquer the world and survive with the zombies that are in it. They did do a mod type of thing before, and so the atmosphere that they're going for is going to match what they did in the mod. But one thing I will say that I've been pleasantly surprised with, that I didn't expect from this developer, is that he has gone through and taken this seriously. Like, their Kickstarter did a lot better than expected, and so he has got a team and they're actually making a full game. They're not relying on assets, unlike PUBG. They've gone through and they're making everything from scratch and doing a really good, from what I can tell, a really good job of making a game that is unique to itself. So here they're just doing on this. It's a video. It's going to be showing some of the new things that they've come up with. And I think it's beneficial. We were talking about, whether or not we should play this whole thing, but I think that there's enough meat in here that it'll be well worth it. And I think people will like what they see.
Alrighty, enjoy. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome to Dead Matter Vlog 04. The team has been extremely busy over the last few weeks, and we're excited to show you what we've been up to. Our lead artist has completed a polish pass on a collection of commercial buildings. We've now got a pizzeria, complete with enough leftover ingredients to keep a group of survivors fed for a week. A clothing store, with plenty of clothes and no food at all. A mattress store, useful for single player and co-op where your survivor will be required to sleep. A dollar store, containing nutritionally poor food and a variety of cheap goods from China. A hardware store, containing a plethora of crafting supplies and other valuable loot. A hair salon, offering very little value, unless you decide to get creative and make use of some of the crafting ingredients that spawn here. A small grocery store, which provides access to a large quantity of food, if you're willing to eat with a target on your back. A bookstore, whether you're reading a book to enhance your character's ability or to improve their comfort. Jimmy's, a casual place for cheap coffee and donuts. Our Canadian friends will feel right at home here. Winslow's family-friendly burger chain, a great fixer-upper with a massive kitchen, perfect for a small group of survivors. Size does matter. Dick's Diner. All 3 variations of this burger chain are now ready to be occupied by survivors. Safeway, our largest building in Dead Matter, has also received a polish pass. We hope you don't run into anyone else while you're exploring this massive supermarket. We love detail. Every commercial building in Dead Matter will have an employee-only area. These will vary from building to building and will sometimes contain an employee bathroom to help you keep stocked up on water until the pipes run dry, of course. Plan accordingly. Nomad has also been chipping away at bringing some new props as well as some additional buildings into the game. Please note that these buildings have not received their polish pass yet. Shirk has set up some new cliff and rock models that blend perfectly into our terrain. We're excited to use these in our world. There have been some enhancements made to our ambient lighting system. Now the time of day, weather, and sun angle affect the color and specular strength of the light source. We've now got a brand new major location, the police station. It's the 2nd largest building in Dead Matter, containing offices, cells, a vehicle garage, an armory, and an evidence locker. It's also our first commercial building with an underground section to it. Bring a flashlight in case the power goes out while you're down there. Our weapon movement now uses inertia. Using a weapon now feels much less floaty and much more responsive than before. Heavier weapons, such as the AKM, have more inertia. We've got a new batch of weapons implemented into the game. The G18C, a rare, late-game weapon that must be looted from a bunker. The rate of fire on this thing is downright scary. The 1911, American as apple pie and extremely satisfying to use. The Mosin Nagant, still a work in progress, but once completed it will be one of the best early game weapons you can get your hands on. We have a new GPU-based gore system which looks great and is performance friendly. Even with a massive horde, our gore system chugs along without a single hitch. We've performed a pass on our entire user interface as well as our inventory system. Dragging and dropping items feels much more responsive than before. We've also implemented the first pass of our clothing system. These are using placeholder assets, and while these will be replaced soon, we felt that it was important to show off how we intend our clothing system to work. Giving players tools to navigate our world is really important to us. We've implemented a system for our artists to use that allows for quick and easy creation of highway signage. Every exit will have a unique number. Every overhead sign on the highway will contain useful information to help you navigate the world. We've even got a miner system that ensures all satellite dishes always point south. We reuse the system from the highway signage to generate random license plates for every car in Dead Matter. Firefights will now be a lot more intense. We've added leaning as well as a ballistics system. This system will accurately simulate bullet penetration and ricochet. This should lead to heightened intensity during gunfights. Thanks for checking out the latest Dead Matter development vlog. If you like what you've seen so far, you can back us on Indiegogo. Backing us via Indiegogo will allow you to access our alpha as soon as it's made available to backers. We are a tiny team and we are continually blown away by all of the support that you guys have showered us with. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for making our vision a reality. We are a community-oriented development team, and if you want to get involved, I've dropped some links to our Discord server, our forums, and our social media pages. The rest of this video is just gameplay from about 2 weeks ago. There was a couple issues involving the rain particles, but it's mostly just a test of the atmosphere and mood. We hope that you enjoy it, and thank you again for watching our devlog.
All right.
So we got some gameplay here, about 5 minutes of gameplay that we'll just we'll talk over here for a minute. First things first, Brian. I don't want to be the critical guy, but they really need to find somebody that can not talk like that during a video to talk. I mean, they come out. There's got to. I mean, I'll offer to do it. We need some. We need some excitement in here, though. I mean, Yeah, we got a police station. This police station is awesome. It's big. Look, we got a restaurant. It's named Dick's. Size matters. Like, come on, we gotta have some fun with it, right?
Yeah.
It's just that's got to be fair. That's a problem.
So that's the lead developer. I mean, pretty much the guy who runs the project, and so he's sitting there and
I'm Jace
talking.
I'm Jace 2.0.
Hype man.
I can hype anything.
Hype man Nick.
We got to get Lance to do it. Lance could be the PR guy for this game. He'd be all over it.
Yep. He'll be like, "Have you heard about Dead Matter?"
In the video, in the middle of the video. Hey, yeah. Dead Matter's a great game. Like, whoa, yeah, I'm watching the video.
Exactly. So, so what are your impressions though? One thing I look at it, and they're going through and getting the detail that I think people will appreciate. It's not gonna. It has an environment that is very. You can't see really far. It's not made to make it to where you're looking across the whole map and just viewing it as a big open world. I think they want you to kind of focus on what's in front of you and feel like you're kind of sneaking around, and it just has that kind of a jump scare type of feel. One thing I didn't that they did say at the beginning that I really appreciated also was that the different locations will have different loot that will help you in different ways. So it's not just totally random loot. The different places will have unique things that you need to maybe craft something or to benefit you in some area of the game.
I appreciate the fact that, I don't know if this is a good decision or a bad decision, but I appreciate the fact that they are putting in the detail now on the buildings.
Yeah.
That isn't typical. A lot of the times that detail is thrown in after the fact, and I don't know if that means that the gameplay is going to be a little bit more lacking because the details in there for some of the POIs. I'm not saying I know that that's the case. It seems like there's a reason that developers don't choose to put a lot on, specifically early access games like this. The intense detail on stores and stuff like that isn't always in there at the beginning. And I've always thought there was a reason for that. Maybe this game is different. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it will help them.
One thing is they're not trying to get 100 players on a map out of the box. That's one of the big differences. Is that they're not, and also a lot of those other ones. It seems like they're trying to get them to run on a potato. Especially H1Z1, they want it to run on almost any computer. This, I think, will have to be a fairly modern computer to be able to get the clarity of graphics like this. There's a lot of effects happening, so you will have to have a decent video card, a decent computer, because all this lighting and all this stuff will eat away at your FPS. It doesn't seem like they're having an issue, but they're going to let you host your own servers. So if you want to make a server that can run 20 people, you can try. Right, but I think their focus is not getting it to where you have 100-person maps. People running around on a server. Their focus is making a fun game, and then whatever you can get a server to run it. You can have that many players.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Brian.
It'll be hard to say. I mean, it'll be hard to say how fun it is.
I have a fear. I have a fear that this is going to be another game similar in the same vein as Scum, where it's popular for a very short period of time, but the user base will drop off very, very quickly, which will make it unsustainable.
Well,
I just have a fear.
I think these guys are working to make a game, and I don't know that they're necessarily trying to make a game that will be added to and done forever, right? I think because they had a user base of people that were playing it on the mod. So I think they're making the game for them, pretty much. And I think that it's going to be to where they're not then having to sell all these skins and do all this stuff. I think they're going to make a game and then support it, but make a game that's fairly complete when it comes out.
That's a good idea, and I don't think that's something that.
PH is bringing up that they support mods, so that's another thing. Is I don't think that they're wanting to do all the work. I think they're wanting to put out a game that itself is playable, and then people can add to on their own. it'll be totally up to other people, because that's where a lot of these games get stuck, because then they're having to do everything. If they don't constantly put new stuff into it, people stop playing. Putting mod support that actually works well, and maybe that'll be what determines the successfulness of this game, is whether or not they can put in mod support that people actually want to use. Because I've been saying for a long time, we need a game with a good sandbox and mod support so people can make whatever they want. Like Arma has been out so long, like we need something else. And Arc is too heavy. Like Arc doesn't run. It's too difficult to add mods to Arc.
Yeah.
And it's too limited. It's just, people don't do it because it's like 100 gigabytes for just to put in the stupid mod support, to be able to make your own mods for it. So I think that you need one that has a good sandbox that lets people create missions, lets people create environments, because a lot of people have been doing it in Arma, but a lot of people are frustrated that Arma is just not improving.
When can we expect this game? Any idea?
I don't remember.
It's not on their website, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't remember they moved it out. I think it's in the spring is when it'll be playable.
Okay.
I think they're going to have ones that, because as PH is saying, they did delay it, but I think it was to the spring of this coming year, that maybe they'll have a version that's testing and letting people actually get into. I think they were planning on doing it this year for backers, but I think they moved it to the first quarter of next year for backers.
You know what I want to see? I want to see, and I think we're going to notice, I think this is going to be something that you and I will maybe agree with here in a couple weeks after we play Red Dead Redemption, and this may be a good clue for the whole industry. I think we need to see some more single-player games.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you what, man,
people need a break.
I have been watching, well, they need a break, and they also just need something that does, believe me, I do not like playing games alone. I really, half my fun playing video games when we play them with the community, I would say more than half of it is me interacting with, I'm going to say, my friends that I play video games with online. That's more than half the fun of it, is just interacting with people, hanging out, having a good time. The game is kind of almost ancillary to it. I know that's not the case for everybody, but that's the case for me. But a good single-player game, there's nothing better than a good single-player game.
Well, I think that,
and Red Dead's going to be a good example of that, I hope.
We're waiting for technology still to catch up. And I think with Maverick and just different games coming out, we'll see if they can figure out some of the server side stuff, because I think that the market of multiplayer games is growing too fast. The technology behind them is not quite caught up yet. So people are trying to add all this stuff and have all these capabilities. Maybe with this new technology, they'll be able to do it, like in Mavericks, and get the server to be able to handle more. Maybe not. We haven't, it's not been proven yet. And so I think that that's something where we need something like Red Dead. I mean, even if they do the online, you look at, I think people need to go and do that kind of stuff for a while, and just let this whole, we have a good BR game, right? We got a couple good people can play Fortnite, people can play Blackout.
ROE.
We still don't have a wonderful, ROE is very, very stable and free. We still don't have a good survival game. This looks like it could be a good survival game, but it'll be just time will tell. But do you think people really want a survival game right now? Like, everybody who says they want survival, they now want PvP, which generally isn't always what survival is. I mean, you can have PvP in survival, but it's supposed to be you versus the environment, and then a human element is mixed in, right? I think that that's where people get confused, is PvP shouldn't be the primary goal in a survival game. And I think that that's where we've gotten lost, is they just make big PvP sandboxes that have very little to do with survival. I think that Red Dead Redemption is going to have more survival elements than many of these survival games, you can put that in air quotes, survival games that we've seen recently in the past year. I've been looking, they're going to have the system where your character in Red Dead Redemption, depending on how you eat, will be skinny or fat, just like Scum. They're having it to where you have to craft, you have to find food, you have to drink water, you have to do all these things that are what? Exactly what we say a survival game is. So, I mean, if you're into survival games, I think that Red Dead will be interesting to see how much of an itch that scratches for the survival world. Because looking at all the elements, it is more survival than a lot of the games. Not quite to the level of what's the one that I talk about? The single player where it's really cold. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. I blanked on it, but you know, there are a few survival games, but none that are to the scale of something like Red Dead. And so I think that it'll be interesting to see people turn around and play that and see what they actually think.
Yeah.
Because I think it is going to be very survivally. Just from I watched some reviews of people that were able to play 3 hours of it, and they were like, it has all the survival elements.
Everything kind of ebbs and flows, and
Yeah.
we were in, you know.
Sorry, yeah, thanks, Scott. If the Long Dark is the one I was trying to remember.
I think we're right in the middle, or maybe we're close towards the end of the everything multiplayer craze.
People are multiplayed out because it just brings cheaters and problems.
But I think we're right in the middle of
smooth games.
I think we're probably in the middle, somewhere between the middle and the end, somewhere right in that gap where what is going to be the next thing? Because I do think that the multiplayed out is a valid term. I am multiplayed out.
We're going to hit a peak with BRs where people, like, what else are you going to do to BR? You're just going to make more variations.
Yeah, Battlefield's going to release their BR. It's going to be a total flop from everything I've seen.
I think we're going to have to settle on, okay, this is the BR for the genre. Because we've done that in most other genres where there is the defining game that is that. With MOBAs, you got League of Legends.
Yep. Your open world Sandbox, Minecraft is kind of open world, whatever you want to call it. Minecraft's kind of got that thing.
When the dust settles, there's the games that and what has it been in BR? It's still been up in the air. You could say now Fortnite
probably will be, if I had to guess.
Will be one of the top ones.
It's free.
Maybe for the free to play.
Yeah.
And I think for the paid one, if you're looking for more of a adult PvP experience, people will say Blackout is possibly it.
PUBG, yeah.
Or PUBG. So I think we've got to the point where we've figured out who are the ones that are probably going to be on top. And then I think it's going to move on to some other genre because people, just like the zombie craze, are going to be bored of it. They're ready to move on and they don't want another 20 of this game type, to be able to figure it out. And I think people are done.
Yeah, I absolutely think people are done. There's just the question is, who is going to be the pioneer in that? I mean, is Red Dead the game that kind of teaches the industry, hey, your whole game doesn't have to be based around shooting people online to be successful. The sales on Red Dead Redemption 2 are going to rival. They're not going to beat, I don't think, but they're going to rival GTA 5, which I believe is the best-selling game that there's ever been. Yeah. In recent history, that's been the best-selling game. I don't know if it's been the best-selling game. I can't imagine it's the best-selling game ever. Maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would imagine it's something maybe on an early system would have been the best-selling game ever, limited choices. But it's going to rival it. And maybe that's the clue and the wink-wink to the community that maybe there is room for a single-player game. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to, I'm not saying it has to be open world like Red Dead, but maybe there's room for
but what even like,
you know what, Brian, I'll give you a great example.
Something like co-op.
I'm playing,
go to something like that.
I streamed last night for about 3.5 hours and I played Resident Evil 4 and I'm playing it on the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. I'm just having a good time, just kind of being disconnected from it all. I wasn't on Twitter because when you're playing a multiplayer game, you're doing other stuff too. In between matches, in between pauses, you're doing other stuff. I was totally disconnected. I mean, I was streaming, so I had the chat open, but that was like 4 hours. I got back to my computer. I was like, oh man, I had like a little break. It was kind of nice to just be. And it's gonna be the same thing with Red Dead. I mean, I'm sitting over here on this chair right here, staring at the TV playing Red Dead. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Well, and I think part of what kind of matches how today goes is we've got so many titles being released that's not really maintainable on multiplayer, because you keep having to pull from other audiences. You're having to pull people away from another game to make another game popular. I guess one of the beauty of having a single player game is you can play through it and you can be done if you want to be done. Right. And so then it opens up to where people are ready to play another game. Because right now, when you have a game coming out at least every month now, well, okay, when maybe Black Ops will pull players away from PUBG, or whatever game is out there, I think they're relying on it pulling players away from another game. I think it would be nice to developers if, rather than them competing, they just every month you're coming out with a really cool game that someone can play through. Like I just finished God of War, excellent game. I beat the story. You can go through and repeat it on, play it through again starting with your current weapons and everything, and play through the story again. But you know what? I can be done. It was a wonderful game. Took me a month maybe to beat it, and now I can move on to another game. And there's plenty of games to play. I think that's the problem is, when you're playing with, especially us, when you're playing with your friends, everybody either has to be playing the same game, or like people are playing by themselves. And it's kind of difficult. It's difficult for groups when so many games are coming out and people move from game to game to game. How do you get everybody to play together? Well,
our friend Sean has been very hesitant to buy Call of Duty for exactly that reason. That's his answer when you ask him.
He's like, in a month, are we going to be playing a different game?
No, and there's some legitimacy to that. I mean, there are games like Call of Duty and I mean, there's still people playing PUBG, and there's games that last. But Scum is a great example of a game that, I mean, I practically pissed away the money. I played it very little bit because it wasn't popular for that long. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still people playing it. But when our group moved off of it, not that they were ever on it in a huge way, but they're looking up Scum's numbers right now. There's 2,600 people playing.
Yeah,
the game's been out not even a month. The game has not even been out a month.
But that game, for it to be successful, relies on a bunch of people playing.
Exactly.
You can't just release it like you look and say, well, none of my friends are playing it, so I can't really play it, or I'm going to be playing by myself.
Exactly.
Like it relies on that. I think, let's see, God, if he brings up a best-selling game should be like a single player with co-op or something. I think that is an excellent thing that people are kind of waiting for right now.
Well, Red Dead's going to be similar to that. The Red Dead multiplayer is not.
It's not going to be like GTA Online. I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be more of that co-op, and I think that may be the catalyst that makes people ready for I can play this with my friends, and I don't have to worry about some guy from China flying in with a car magically and killing me and throwing cars on my head and blowing them up. Like tack. I think that this may be something unique to where people will start to appreciate not having to have 100 players. I just want to play with my friends. Right.
I agree.
I think that may be what the market may transition into. It's hard to say. You have to have some good titles that people want to transition into, and then start seeing the fun in it. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for something.
I mean, because look at even like Left 4 Dead. That was a blast. That's a blast. Still a blast.
Great game
with your friends. Can you think of any games like that recently that feel like that, where you just jump with your friends and it's that polished and
there is a new one that's out that looks just like Red Dead. Not Red Dead. Left 4 Dead. Damn, I don't remember the name. Somebody was playing it, or we were watching a video on. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video, but like, there's not a defining game like that to where that's the game we played with your friends.
Yeah,
right now that I remember.
Overkill's The Walking Dead. Yeah. It looks just like that.
Yeah. And one thing I'm going to mention about Overkill's The Walking Dead is they announced that they are they're extending their trial till for a couple more days. Let me open it up really quick and just double check the number. But it was supposed to end, I think, yesterday. But they decided because they reached 10 million killed walkers that they are keeping it open until Thursday. So if you didn't get as much time to play that as you wanted,
Yeah.
go ahead and jump in and you can play it until the 25th. And that's the kind of game where there is a progression system. You play with your friends. I think we need more games like that, where it's not just all everyone versus everyone. It's us versus the environment, because I think, you can only have that for so long before people are like, I'm just tired of the same thing.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be a shift. I think the multiplayer thing is just the MMO online hybrid survival thing that we're seeing is just, it's just beat, man. It is just beat to death. And maybe we were talking about Dead Matter. That's how this whole started. Maybe Dead Matter is the top, the top dog. But you look at a game like Miscreated. I mean, nobody. Their player base is dwindling by the day. They just don't have a huge.
So
player.
That's the thing, is it takes one of these small indie companies to make a concept, and then the big companies realize, because it happened exactly the same thing with the whole BR genre that came to now. It took a small group of people making the genre.
Yeah, it took it took Daybreak to do it. Frankly.
Yeah, well, but they took it from someone else. But it took someone small making it, and then it worked its way up to where now the big studios have made that. I think that we need a couple of the small, maybe, and that's what maybe Dead Matter's going to have to do, is say, look at how many people are enjoying playing a game like this. Then you'll see the big studios come in and say, oh, well, we got to make a version like that. And so that it seems like that's always the process of, you have small studios making something, or small, even modders making something, and then a year later, the big studios come in and copy it. Oh, and PH is bringing up, DayZ. DayZ started survival games. That was a mod. And same thing with Arma. That started Arma, but Arma also, they created a mod which made the whole BR mode. I think. Yeah, he's bringing up League of Legends and Dota. That started a whole genre. Those were all mods. Every single one of the big genres you can think of. We have survival.
BR was a mod.
Battle Royale.
PlayerUnknown.
MOBAs. Those were all mods. Everything before that was pretty much more Call of Duty, running around corners. I guess Doom and Quake style field games. Or you had big like MMOs, like EverQuest.
I hope at some point we can get back to the basics.
Yeah.
Like
they have to start somewhere.
Brian, you're going to roll over in your grave when I say this comment. But I'm realizing this more and more. I just want a simple game with a story. Sometimes, not all the time, not saying all the time, but it is refreshing to just play a game that's got a story. And you just follow it. You do the story, you interact with the things you're supposed to interact with, and you're good to go. And I don't know if it's just me because it's been so long since I've played a game like that, but this damn Resident Evil game that I'm playing on the PlayStation, boy, is it refreshing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
well,
I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, is you should really look at like God of War.
But like I like The Last of Us. I thought The Last of Us was really good too. I mean, it's the same thing. Doom on the I played Doom on the PlayStation. Really good. And that doesn't have that doesn't really have a story, but it is kind of a simple, you just kind of follow. It's a simple game. It's very simple. You just shoot stuff. There's nothing complicated about it. You just blow things up. I like that. Yeah. It's a good
that's what people liked about the that's what they liked about Left 4 Dead.
It was very simple.
Mindless zombie. Just, you had hordes of zombies coming at you and just mindlessly killed them, and it was just refreshing. You didn't have to figure out anything tricky. Or like, we just got to survive, and we just shoot everything.
When you go from a game like Blackout, when it's very intense when you're playing it, especially if you're in a the gunfights in Blackout, which are, by the way, most of our gunfights, I don't know if you've noticed this, are real solid. Like, they're good interactions. There's shots being exchanged back and forth.
Usually multiple back and forth. So I was playing with PH. we're running around and we had very solid number of
good,
gunfights.
real good, solid gunplay, which I really like seeing. But when you go from that, which is very intense, very quick, it's hardcore. You go from that. The good clash to that is hopefully Friday is going to be let me ride around on my horse and talk to the locals and go spend money on poker and strippers or hookers in the saloon and just mindlessly walk around the world, go watch.
Not being rushed.
It's a real good clash to those extreme moments that you get with the kind of the multiplayer games that we play. So hopefully, I don't know. We do these stupid diatribes every week, and we never get to any of our news. But it's
I know we're almost to we're 30 minutes from the end.
30 minutes from the end of the show, but it's we're
3 points into our notes.
Okay, enough of this. We've got a lot. Let's go through stuff real quick. Let's go through timely things. Halloween. We got a whole bunch of games doing Halloween events.
Okay, so let's talk about Miscreated really quick. Because Miscreated, this is actually pretty quick because it's more of just an announcement and then a little bit of speculation of what they're meaning on one of the things. So they're putting out their 1.0, which is going to be, they're coming out of early access.
Yep.
And so they said that this is going to be the largest update since the game was started. So they've been working on something in the background, dynamic world system, which I'm kind of wondering what that means. Farming and horticulture. So we've got a picture of the farming that's going to show, and that's pretty much just growing plants similar to what you do in Ark and things like that. You'll be able to grow food. And so there is a picture of that in a tweet that they put out. And then there's another image that they put out that I'm trying to figure out exactly. They say, "Are you ready for a dynamic world?" And it's a short little video. And
let me pull it up.
I want to get your point of view on what you think they're showing in this video. I see what I think it is. But I want to see what you think.
Oh, Twitter videos are my favorite.
Yeah, they work half the time.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you see in here that is different from Miscreated?
I know what I don't personally see anything.
Okay. Then I will say it. So first of all, you see a light inside.
Oh, I do see that.
So
there's a generator. It looks like, is that a generator?
A little generator, and you see the pole that's running to the house.
I do see that. Yes.
To power it.
So lighting.
Also, were there doors inside of Miscreated?
Yeah, there are doors.
Doors that you had to open?
Yeah. Yeah, all the houses had doors, I think.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Did they? Is this a trick question?
I don't think that there were doors.
Huh. Honestly, no, you make a good.
I don't remember ever having to open a door in Miscreated.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not sure.
Doors. See the door? So you got blood splatter on the wall. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I don't know that necessarily has to do with anything on it.
There's smoke.
You've got a generator. You've got smoke, which I don't know why they did it there. I'm not 100% sure, other than you have the different environments that you're going to have more weather events that are happening. But they have power for a building. So I'm wondering if the reason that they are going with this is we're not going to have base building. We're going to have house claiming. Do you think?
That would
you
solve.
Can run power to a house.
That would solve a lot of their.
And you wonder why they put so little effort into the base building.
Well, that would solve a problem.
In the back of their mind, this is what they were wanting to do.
It's an interesting idea.
So I just seeing that, obviously, why would you run power to a house if you weren't going to do something with it?
Yeah, that could potentially solve a couple of their problems. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's I don't know if you want to show that other picture. There is a picture of the farming.
Yeah, farming looks super cool.
And so they'll be doing that. So you'll be able to make a base, grow plants. Yeah. So
Miscreated.
It's gonna be a big update. It'll be interesting to see. Is this enough? I mean, is this too little, too late?
No,
you know, do you
No.
think that this will be enough to bring people in and get at least a decent number of people playing it?
I think so. I think, yeah, I think that if they could solve one of their biggest issues, which was base building, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
now, is this game going to have 40,000 concurrent players? No, but could it have a solid group of 5,000 that play it?
Well, okay. Well,
Maybe.
another thing they're going to do is they're going to make so you don't have to use their host anymore.
Yes, which is
you'll
big.
be able to host your own servers, which I think will be a night and day difference for people.
Yeah. No, I
mean, we could run our own server and just have fun in it, you know, play it out and discover the world. I think it'll allow people to play it a little bit differently. I don't know that they're ever going to create modding or anything like that. I doubt that. Haven't heard any hint of it. But for people like us, where it's difficult to really go in and play it in small chunks, like this is a game you either have to be all in all the time to have the good gear and to really play it well, or you know, you just don't really play it. I think having people have their own server, we could spin it up and have a PvP afternoon and run around and just, you know, loot and discover the world and do what we usually do when we would go play on someone else's server, but have our gear left off from the last time we played. I just think that that would work out better. So,
yeah,
because that's how we play it. We don't play this like a PvP game. I mean, we do run into some PvP, but that's few and far between at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is. I think they can pull in a decent sized player base. Again, not going to set the world on fire, but a couple of thousand people right now. I mean, right now, I'll cover it at the end of the show. There's nobody playing the game right now. I mean, it's practically dead. But if you can get a couple thousand people and they're constantly playing, you could be in good shape, I think.
Yep.
All right.
So let's do the game giveaway. Let's announce it because we never did announce it really quick.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So I am going to be giving away. Actually, let me get the thing here so people don't start typing it. This will be a 60-point raffle. And so if you've been listening for the past hour, then you should definitely have enough points to do this. But we're going to be giving away a copy of Overwatch.
Oh.
So maybe you already have this. Maybe you have a kid or a friend. I mean, I would recommend it if you have a friend who doesn't have Overwatch that you'd like to come and play with us. I'm more than fine with somebody entering the raffle for Overwatch for one of their friends or family members. So we're doing Overwatch for the end of the show. So, exclamation point giveaway in chat. He says the humble key cannot be shared, but it can. It has a gift a friend option.
There you go.
Correct?
Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you can give stuff on Humble.
There's just certain countries, so I can create a gift link. It will work.
There you go. Cool. Okay. So we got a couple of we're full steam ahead towards Halloween, and we've got a couple games that are doing some Halloween things. So Rust is the first one here. They've got a let me get my logo through. They've got a patch here. It's their Halloween patch that they're doing. It'll be live. It's went live on the 19th, so a couple days ago, and it's live until November 1st. You'll find some new NPCs, which will drop all sorts of Halloween goodies, from graveyard fences to loot bags and coffins. And there are also some Halloween items for sale on the store. A couple of wacky things, cauldrons, a spooky slime furnace, just some real stupid items that they're selling here in the store. A pumpkin rock. This is a real it's a nice high dollar item here for $2.99. This is a
they put a lot of time in it.
It's a rock with a jack-o'-lantern skin on it.
Nice.
So you can do that.
Leave it around.
Yeah, I love it. This is exactly what Rust is doing. And there is a note. There's strobing lights in here. It says if strobe lights is bothering you, you can press F1 and enter strobe light.force off 1. And it turns off. So if you
all you need is people having seizures because they're playing Rust.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got that. That's a Halloween update. An odd game, Brian. I don't even know how you put this in the notes. Is Team Fortress 2 has also got a Halloween.
This is
update.
by request by PH. He said we don't do enough TF2
I
news.
love Team Fortress 2.
Nick knows I have a special place where patch notes go. I have the ability to know all the TF news every time
I
it
didn't,
happens.
I didn't know
so-
that. I didn't know that was in there.
Yep.
I love Team Fortress 2. Let me tell you. And they're also doing a Halloween update, and I think Halloween updates are awesome. So they have 5 new community maps, some paints that they're adding,
20 cosmetic items that they're putting in there.
Just a whole they're going all out.
Taunts. Yep.
Yeah, they go all out with these events, which
and a bunch of, and they're like 17 new effects.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play some TF2 between now and probably November 1st when this stuff goes away. So if anybody wants to play some TF2, let me know. I'll install. I'll play some TF2. Big fan of Team Fortress. So they've got a Halloween update, and then another game has got a Halloween update as well. Yeah. And this is not a Halloween update, but it is based. It's falling right around this time. It's called The Abyss, and it's new free content. It's essentially new DLC. The logo looks just like the Stranger Things logo. They're
green.
Yeah, they're going for the kind of paranormal, supernatural. Stranger Things, spooky Stranger Things look, and they're going to allow you to customize your body shape, which is something that people wanted to do. They've added
it says they're going to have eerie elements of No Man's Sky in keeping with the theme of this season. So there should be some unique things that are kind of Halloween themed.
Yeah, as well as some other things, a bike.
You can change your character's body shape now. Have that motorbike that I think we talked about a week ago, and then leaderboards. So.
Yeah. So it's not a Halloween update, but they're making it
Halloween things.
It's got some Halloween things in it, and it's right around that time of year. So that's No Man's Sky. And anything else here that is Halloween? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see anything else specifically Halloween. Well, actually, the Darwin Project.
This is a Halloween update.
They've got Halloween skins. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
So, one thing that you'll notice about the Darwin Project is they really go all out with their skins. They have very unique skins.
Yeah, they do.
It's really good artists.
They have great artists.
So they've got some ones that have kind of a Western, maybe in honor of Red Dead. Who knows?
You know what this looks like? These skins right here look like something straight out of We Happy Few.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the artistic style, that's one thing. I really like this artistic style they did.
Yeah.
And then they have this, I don't know what it is. It's a plague doctor that you can put on there that gives you a very, very unique look. I haven't seen anything like that.
Looks like a scarecrow.
Yeah, it's a plague. It's got the old masks, when they had plagues back in the mid.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he does have yeah, you're right. Huh.
Yeah, he's got that mask that they would wear that looks like a bird beak.
Yeah. Huh.
So he's got one of those on there. Then they have a
Go ahead.
Golem.
What is this, Brian?
I don't know. It's a robot thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe this is
got a scythe and a crossbow.
Maybe this is in honor of Fallout. Who knows? Kind of a mask, somewhat steampunky feel. So, and then they're going to be adding a new tile, which is Halloween themed. So Gould City. So this is going to have a graveyard, and looks like, is that a school or a church, and just an old, just kind of a Halloween-y type of a feel area. And so this is something that for them, because they work off of tiles, they can add in these themed things very, very uniquely,
very dynamically. Yeah.
Yeah. And they can just throw them in. They're like, we can make this. And if someone's making a game, setting up the game, they can say, all right, I want to have the Halloween things in there. You can put whatever, if there's Christmas ones, they can add these and have them totally be modular, which I think is a really unique idea that it's very difficult for other ones to pull off when it's not a dynamic map like this. So, and then they've got, just some improvements, a lot of fixes, some Halloween specific things that will be only available from the 16th, so it started now to the 20th of November. So, jack-o'-lanterns on the map.
16th to the 20th? Oh,
16th
November.
of October
Gotcha.
to November 20th.
God,
so
that's
just
a long
over
event.
just over a month.
Yeah,
Yep.
we should get in there. We should get in there and we should get in here and play that at some point.
Maybe we should have that be not this coming weeks, but the week after. We could almost
that's a good idea.
This game. All right, and yeah, so just some fixes. So this is this is a really big update for them. So it'll be a lot of fun to go in there and check it out.
Let's see.
One thing I was going to mention is Friday the 13th. Their
yes.
Xbox. They're having a special where it's on Xbox for $6 right now. It's going to be pretty much through Halloween. They'll be available for $6. And if you have a PS4 for a little bit longer, through the end of the month, it is free on the PS4. So, I mean, you can't beat that price. But it's so if you have PlayStation Plus, which if you play online, you have PlayStation Plus, which you have to do to be able to play this game.
Oh, no. I'm going to have to get mine. Damn it. I got to have to renew mine first before I play Red Dead online.
Red Dead, yeah.
Damn.
Well, but that won't be till November anyways. So
that's good. You make a good point.
All right, so on there, if you do have, because it's for the PS4 Plus monthly thing that they do.
Yep.
That renews at the beginning of every month, so it may go away by the beginning of November. So you may want to, if you want the free version, you can go add it to your account. It'll be on there. You don't have to play it, but at least then you'll have it on there in case Firebomb gets desperate and just needs somebody to play on PS4 with him.
Now there is some other Friday the 13th news. The lawsuit ended, but now there's an appeal by somebody else, and
so they still can't add content,
and they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much done. They've already handed it off to be maintained by another company. So,
yeah, so. Pretty much nothing.
Yep. So don't expect anything to be added to it, but that's probably why they're pretty much giving it away at this point, so people keep playing it. But you got to think it's just costing them. You know, I don't know why they want so many people playing. It's just costing them money to maintain servers.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that at some point that'll end because they can't put out skins and sell skins anymore.
Yeah, well, and something may comment, but it is free on PlayStation. So if you got PlayStation Plus, you might as well go. I'll do that tonight. I'll go turn that on.
I wonder if PlayStation hosts the servers or something. If there's something worked out to where, because you play the PlayStation, you pay that PlayStation Plus fee. I wonder if they have something to where
I doubt it.
They don't have to pay, and that's why they're giving it away on PlayStation because they don't have to pay for the servers.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I'm wondering. You would think it almost has to be something like that. So, all right. Do you have a preference on? We only have 10 minutes.
I do not. No. Where whatever.
Okay, let's talk quickly about PUBG.
Yep.
Because this is actually, we may not finish it before the end of the show. So they put out their update number 23, and one thing they did for quality of life is they've added UI guides on the screen to kind of help understand different things with playing the game. There were some fixes and like with underwater and things like that, but they added a lot of features in this patch. They did add a new weapon. There's a video on there. I don't know if you want to pull that up. But they added a new weapon that will be on it'll be on all platforms for it. And it's a very small gun. Actually play some audio. Can you play the audio, because he does talk about it a little bit.
This pistol's 20-round default capacity can be increased to 40 rounds with a standard extended magazine, but it cannot support other magazines such as the quick draw and extended quick draw. While it has a lower per bullet damage than other pistols, the Scorpion comes with the option to switch from single fire to full auto, and is the first pistol to feature slots for a grip and stock to help you control its spray. Just don't expect it to be too accurate beyond 50 meters. The Scorpion is most effective in early close quarters engagements, but can work later in the game as a pocket SMG, leaving your primary weapon slot open for more powerful long and mid-range weapons. If you're able to kit it out with the right attachments, of course. If you're looking for a quick, full auto option to start your match, or a reliable close-range alternative later in the game, pick up a Scorpion on the next one. Coming soon.
All right, and that's a pretty common gun. Call of Duty's had Scorpion in it a couple times. That's a very common.
And this is a pistol replacement, so it's a more powerful version of a pistol.
Yes, it's a very compact SMG.
And so it'll be in training mode if you want to go and practice with that.
Oh, cool.
Kind of figure it out. Another thing they have added is a button in the lobby to be able to look at patch notes. So you can look at patch notes in game. There's a little icon now on the bottom, and it will let you pull up the latest patch notes, which
It's a
will
game
help
changer.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know. They don't know where to go or what to do.
See, that's why they're taking us right out of business. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
now
about
there's
that.
no point in even listening to the podcast.
Is it in Chinese? I mean, it's got, as long as it's Chinese, they're set.
Oh, come on.
And then they also fixed an issue with the blue zone's opacity. So depending on the map and the weather type, the opacity wasn't similar between all maps. So they have fixed that. I don't know that that's a really important thing. They added on the screen dynamic key map guides. So when you're playing, let's say you're zoomed in on a scope, they now have little shortcuts that tell you how to adjust your scope, because before you just kind of had to know how to do it.
Yep.
You know, how to change the range and change your zero distance. Now they have a thing that's really helpful to do that, because most people don't go and look up all the keys before they play. So this is, I don't know why this is a nice feature. It's just a quality of life thing that they've added. They also on here, on the custom match, they added a new game mode to that. So when you go to custom, you can do war mode, which is the 50 versus 50. So you can have 2 platoons. So you can play that at any time. You can now invite friends directly to a custom game.
That's useful.
And a bunch of settings that you can do to tweak those, like damage ranges and things like that. And then they added a number of their bug fixes. So, I mean, there are other things they've added, but we'll not go into them all right now. But if you haven't played it, it is a fairly big change. You maybe should jump in and play a little bit over the next couple weeks and see if you've noticed, because they have been trying to do fixes. They're trying to compete. You know, they've got a big competitor, and Nick knows very well, and has said this before. Competition is the best thing that these games can have.
100%.
H1Z1 at the moment is not really competition to them anymore. They're not the ones pushing them. Initially, H1Z1 and PUBG were making each other improve because they were competing against each other. H1Z1 kind of dropped off. PUBG didn't really have anybody pushing them anymore. Well, now they've got Blackout, and they better start improving. So
Fortnite, who's in my opinion kicking their ass in terms of players.
Yeah, I don't know that they're really trying to compete against Fortnite anymore.
I think that's a mistake.
They kind of gave up that fight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what can they do? You know,
you make a good point.
I think that they didn't really. I think they gave up on really trying to compete with Fortnite. I think they were trying to improve their game, but now they have a direct competitor to where you'll see one feature go into one game and they'll be like, "Oh, that's a good feature," and they'll add it. Yeah, I mean, there's some features that I see in Blackout that I'm like, that I appreciate that. Like, that's a nice, better feature. I think they'll be looking at that, and we'll start seeing some of those things roll into PUBG. So, but yeah, so I think that covers it for PUBG. And so if you maybe let us know what you think of the Scorpion. If you think it's really that good of a gun, and if you think it actually will make a difference. It's not. I would assume that would be a really good one when you first initially land.
Yeah,
and pick up.
Which is how they kind of described it.
You can take someone down really quick. I don't know about later in game if it's going to be as nearly as useful. So, well, we have time for maybe one more thing.
Yeah, I got something short. We can do that.
All right. So
actually, we've still got about 10 or 12 minutes.
Okay, so play this ARC video really quick.
What is
so this is another teaser for Extinction.
Okay.
Which is coming out next month. This is showing a creature, and I want to get your opinion on what you think of this guy.
All right. Oh my God, it's Kirby.
Yeah. Floats around.
It's Kirby. I'm right.
And it's pretty much two different. You can carry two people on it, from what I can see so far. And it like floats.
It sucks in, and then it flies. It's literally Kirby.
Yeah. So that's one of the creatures they're adding.
And this comes out. This is soon. This is November 6th.
Yep. So it's coming out in a couple weeks.
Boy,
so
I would tell you what, I would
putting up
not
a
be.
server.
I would not be wanting to release DLC, and I would not want to be releasing anything between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't think they thought it out totally.
No. I mean, I'm not criticizing them. I
think they know that a huge amount of their player base already owns the season pass if they have the first two.
Yep.
And so this is more of just fulfilling an obligation. I think at this point, I don't know how much they're counting on actual original sales anymore. But they said they were going to do 3, and so this is their 3rd.
I mean, you've got this new Mario game coming out soon. And you got that. Red Dead is coming out. You've got Battlefield is coming out. Call of Duty just came out. You've got a lot of. I would not want to release anything between now and the end of the year.
And Fallout 76 for
Yeah.
We'll see how popular that is, but
No.
you have a lot of big titles coming out very
And
quickly.
obviously, if you've already got the season pass, it's a no-brainer. But if you're going to be, if you're buying a couple of these games, you may just not want to have your money. You'll have your money tied up in other games. I mean, I don't know.
I think Ark is also down to a more limited set of people playing it. It's not like it was before, to where there was a huge number of people playing it. I think you're going to have a smaller audience playing this. And I think this is them just kind of completing the series. And I think this will be kind of the end of hearing about Ark once this is out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they move on to. All right.
Well, I mean, you remember that one video with the ships?
Yeah.
Pretty much competition to Blackwake. And what's the other one that Firebomb's always talking about that was released on Xbox? In the Windows Store.
Yeah, name is
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yes.
Yeah, and so it's like they're putting out kind of a competitor to that, which I don't know how popular that would be. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can come out with a second title that is able to maintain their company and is as popular as the original Ark was.
That's going to be tough. Well, we missed a whole bunch of news. Scrolling through here, we have a few had an update. Black Wake, Realm Royale, Scum, ROE, Rocket League.
One thing Scum does mention in their
Rust.
they talk a little bit about base building and things like that. So
missed the
we have a link in there.
had an update. So we got a whole bunch of stuff that we'll come back to. Because there's a couple things that we do want to discuss a little bit further. We just didn't have time to get to it tonight. So
we're not moving to a 3-hour show.
PH is asking about the DayZ stuff. Yeah, there is some pretty big DayZ news, but we just don't have enough time to cover it tonight. Frankly, it's not super time sensitive. The game's been out for 6 years, and I think we'll be good. So we'll do that hopefully next week when we get on that. Friday night game night, Brian. We were just discussing this. We discussed this before the show. We are not going to set a game for Friday night because Brian will be playing Red Dead Redemption. I will likely be playing Red Dead Redemption. And some other people will be too. So we're not going to set a game of the week. What we are going to do is we're just going to kind of be hanging out in Discord Friday night.
We'll be in Discord if people want to jump and play some, Black Ops or whatever. If people want to jump in and play some games, League of Legends, whatever. But we'll be in there hanging out, talking, and just kind of make it a hangout session.
Exactly.
So feel free to come in. You can play either a single player game, play whatever you want, or get a group together and play some things. But we'll be playing that game, and I want to get some good time into it on my Friday night. So. And
Firebomb saying Friday 13th. Go for it, Firebomb. You want to play Friday 13th? Go for it. If you can round up the troops, it's more power to you.
Good luck.
We'll be doing that Friday night, 8 p.m. be hanging out, having a good time, playing. I do want to say, follow me personally on Twitch because I've been streaming some more. I'll be streaming some Red Dead, depending on how the upload of the show goes. I may stream for a little while tonight as well. And it's twitch.tv/360 Gaming Live, and I'll be streaming some Red Dead on there and I've been streaming Black Ops and all that other stuff as well.
Yep. Yep. And so that's one thing I did ask Nick. I said, hey, could you stream some Red Dead for us?
And I may have to work. I'm trying to minimize that possibility, but if I do, I won't. But just be there Friday night. Well, there'll be people just hanging out and talking. So.
Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and do you want to do your player numbers, or do you want to
I don't know.
cover anything else before
I don't
we go?
know. We got player numbers. We got a lot of games. We got a lot of things to talk about. So current players is a segment where talk about games and who's playing them. And I've got to say, for the final time, we're gonna have H1Z1 Just Survives current players for it'll probably have a new name. So for the last time, H1Z1 Just Survive currently has 204 players playing. The 24-hour peak, 281. The 7-day peak, 315. As the last time, we'll have an update from H1Z1 on that respect for who knows how long. All right, moving on. King of the Kill, currently playing 1,408. The 24-hour peak, 4,486. And the 7-day peak, the same thing today, 4,486. Moving on over to Ark Survival Evolved, currently playing 23,607. 37,336 is your 24-hour player peak, and your 7-day peak, 49,009 players. And moving on, this is very interesting. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. The current player, wacky because of Steam, but currently playing 89,094. The 24-hour peak, 803,345. And the 7-day peak, 965,507. Now, why is this number so significant, Brian? This is the first time in a 7-day period that PUBG has not hit 1 million concurrent players since it launched.
And it happens to coincide with Black.
So last week when we talked about this, the numbers did not appear to be affected at all. But this is the first time in a this is the first time in a 7-day period that the game has not, since December of 2017, has not hit 1 million concurrent active players. Now, the numbers previously were not hanging much higher than 1 million, and over time, the player base kind of you lose players anyway. But if I look at the 1 month, the numbers weren't that much higher, but they were hovering around the 150 or 1,050,000, 1,020,000, and now it's at 965. So I think you could make the argument that they have lost some portion of player base to Blackout, and I think the numbers confirm it this week. It'll be interesting to see what they are next week. At one point that peak was over 3 million.
And I think that is a big indicator. Is Fortnite would pull certain types of players, but the people that really enjoy the more realistic type of a feel that PUBG brought, they will be very easily coerced into Blackout. I think, for a lot of people, they look at Fortnite and it didn't interest them. It was too different. It didn't scratch that itch, right? But I think with Blackout, like, it scratches every itch that PUBG has. Like anything that PUBG can do, you could say Blackout almost does better. I mean, I can't think of a feature that I look at PUBG and say, oh, they did that better. I think Blackout has done everything that PUBG has done plus some. So,
plus it's new. We always say this. It's new.
Like fresh.
It's fresh.
Yeah, PUBG's been out for a while.
Yeah, everybody loves the new. Everybody loves the shiny new toy, and that's what Blackout is right now.
but if it's at least as good of an experience, they would have a tough time getting people to go back.
I agree totally.
So, and I mean, one thing I found interesting was the H1Z1, the whatever they want to call it now, H1Z1 numbers. That's not very many players for King of the Kill. I mean,
no, but that's where they've
7-day peak, 4,400.
That's where they've been.
Almost 4,500. Yeah, that's bad. I mean, just remember the peaks, like when China was playing. I mean, China's pretty much gone. Like China's not playing this game anymore, and it's obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
looking at the 6-month chart, the numbers have fluctuated a couple thousand in 6 months. It's nothing significant. I mean, the chart is pretty much a straight line.
yeah, it makes you worry about them redoing it. Like, are they going to be able to pull people back? Because people don't seem to be too attached to the title, the fact that people are not playing it right now. And I don't think it's not like it's really broken at the moment.
No, from all that I've read and heard, everybody seems to be having a good time.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's operating how it's supposed to be operating, and that's the player count.
Yeah.
So it's kind of scary for them, at least. So, all right, are we ready to go to the tip of the week?
Yes, sir.
All right, tip of the week, so we go through and either give a general gaming tip or one for a specific game. Since we've been playing some Blackout this week, this will be Call of Duty Blackout. So this is tip of the week. All right, so here's something interesting, and I think this will really help you because it's not obvious initially. And I think Tag was the one who pointed this out to us. But parachuting works a little bit differently inside of Blackout, differently than the other games in this genre. So, looking at H1Z1, PUBG, things like that, it's not an exact same mechanic. So you can gain in Blackout, you can gain your initial velocity right after you exit the helicopter. So after that, you can then maintain that level across the map. So initially, after exiting the helicopter, make sure you aim straight down, and you'll see your hands go to your sides. And on the little marker that's on the right hand side, you'll see your speed, and you'll see that you reach about 65. I think it's miles per hour. Once you hit 65, you'll then be able to even level out your character and then start heading towards your marker. You'll notice that when you do this, you should maintain that 65 mile per hour rate. You will not slow down. And you can do that all the way to wherever you're heading to. So if you don't do this, you'll notice that the whole time you're actually flying more slowly.
Yeah, in the 40s.
Yep, you'll go into the 40s, and it's a big difference. So right away, drop down, hit that 65. I notice you tend to level out at 65 at that point.
Yep.
Even if you hit 70-ish something, you don't tend to maintain that. You maintain the 65. So once you hit 65, level out, and then go towards wherever you're wanting to go towards. And that'll be the quickest way to get there. And I think you'll notice if you do that strategy, you'll pass people that don't understand that rule. So hopefully that helps you out in Blackout. And if you want, make sure you come and join us.
Yeah,
and play a little bit this weekend. So
and I first
tip of the week.
I first heard this from our friend UGX Vibe. He was the first one that told me.
Oh, was that UGX? Sorry, I was thinking.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was Tag. So it was UGX who we were playing with.
Yeah,
that's right. I keep giving Tag the credit for it.
He's the pro. He's been leading the group. Boys, he's good at the game. He's got a
So UGX is the one who's level 12.
Yes,
I mentioned earlier.
and he's got a couple. He's got, I think, 3 or 4 solo wins. He's a damn good player, and we enjoy having him around, hanging out in the group. But yeah, that was that was a really good tip. And now we're getting to the ground earlier than almost everybody else, and we're able to engage in a gunfight, and we've got the upper hand. So that is a Brian, that may be one of the most useful tips of the weeks you've ever given here. That's that one really makes a big.
That one made a big difference.
Yeah,
Once we learned
huge.
that, it made all the difference in the world for us for getting early onto the ground and actually being able to survive. So, and this is something that you don't see. Like it was always kind of a mystery with PUBG's flight system and H1Z1. Like we always would assume, you do the thing where you alternate and you get a little bit farther. but this is definite. Like
AD,
this
AD, AD,
does
AD,
make a
AD,
sense.
AD,
Yeah.
AD.
I mean, all these stupid things. You never quite knew exactly what was making you go faster than the other ones. This one is very clear and concise,
And
I
it even
appreciate
tells
that
you
about this game.
on the it's actually on the loading screen. I don't think anybody took the time to read it. He goes, "Yeah, I read it on the loading screen." I said, "Oh, well,
No,
I
I've
guess
never even seen that.
I don't think I've ever paid attention to it. Who reads the loading
Yeah.
screens?"
So, well, he does, I guess.
He doesn't. Now we're all better players because of it.
Yep. All right. So are we ready to do this game giveaway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get here we go. Just gotta get the correct window open. This thing's through the show, open up more and more windows,
Oh yeah.
and then my screen is polluted. All right. You think he'll play it?
I know somebody.
Cameron?
I know. I know a friend that he can give that to. Our friend Sean, I think, would appreciate a copy of this game. So
Okay, very good. He doesn't have it? Oh yeah, he said he didn't.
he doesn't.
He
So
said he
there,
didn't
so there we go.
All
I'll
right,
make that
so we'll give it to I'm sure Amnon will give it to Sean.
Yes. Well,
If he doesn't, we'll say, look at what he did.
yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, Amnon. I will send that to you in Skype.
Mail it out and send it to
On a physical letter
send him a
with the
physical
URL
letter with
printed.
the URL and a QR code. You can scan
Yeah.
scan it on his phone and
That
import
sounds
it.
like what he would like.
Yes, thanks for entering. Congratulations, and thanks everybody for joining us live. Quick programming note, Brian. I think we're gonna have to do the show on Monday, November 5th. November 6th is election night. For everybody that doesn't know, I work in talk radio. I'm a broadcast engineer in talk radio, and I believe we're doing some election night coverage here in the area. So I think we've done this on most election nights because I'm busy with stuff. So
Yeah.
2 shows from now will be on a Monday, and then the show after that, which we really got to figure this out. What are we doing for episode 200? I mean,
I don't know. I haven't come up with anything.
I'll tell you what, Sober October is going to be over. So, we'll be, I mean, you never know.
So one thing I want to mention, if you even if you didn't participate in Sober October,
Oh yeah.
I think that we're gonna continue motivating each other and keeping that going. Yeah, I'll finish 1.75 pounds of mangoes in one sitting in the show. How about that? That'll be a nightmare. And so if you are wanting to work on your health, and it's not about being sober and all that, but get a little motivation for eating healthy, getting to the gym each week, a place where you can go and report your progress, things like that. I would encourage you to join us, and we may name it something other than Sober October at some point.
We'll rename the channel after October.
But I think that would be a good thing to continue, because I think for a lot of people it's making a benefit.
Yep.
And for me, it's helping motivate me. Like tonight, I'm going to the gym after this episode, after we're finished recording this, because I know I got a report in that stupid channel that I went and did some cardio.
See, I'm motivated, but guess what? Tonight it ain't happening. I gotta play some Resident Evil. So hey, some nights you got good nights and bad nights. But I got a couple salads sitting in the fridge for lunch. Been eating a lot of healthy stuffs, a lot of vegetables and whatnot. A lot of chicken. So yes, we'll keep that going after. If you want to be, we just added our friend Firebomb in there, and he posted a couple updates that some things he's working on. So if you're looking for some motivation, let us know. You got to be active though. We're gonna kick you out because people are posting pictures and whatnot in there. So
I don't know. We keep Joe's the 4 squat man.
Hey,
so
we're getting better every day.
So as long as you do more than 4 squats a day and beat Joe, if you beat Joe, you can stay in the group. How about that?
There you go.
He'll be our low bar.
There you go.
So, but you're more than welcome to jump in. So if you want to participate, get in the Discord. Just say, hey, I'd like an invite, and that'll be continuing, and hopefully, we'll just continue to, because that's the thing is, PH was saying I'm like a drug dealer offering a rehab clinic, because people play video games, get unhealthy, and then but I think it's a balance. I think it's something that if you're gonna sit and play video games, you also need to get out and be active and healthy. It's not an excuse to sit in your house and hurt yourself. So
absolutely.
And that's where it's a gaming community, but also I think it's the main word of that is a community. So
Fact.
that's it. All right. Is there anything else? We good to go?
I don't think I've got anything else. No.
All right. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's @BoiseComputer or my blog, biteoftech.com. Make sure you go to our website, infectionpodcast.com on the right-hand side. Join our Discord server, especially if you want to join us for the workout challenges and everything. Also on there, there's the Steam notifications. You can join a Steam group and get a nice little pop-up right before the show starts every Tuesday. We have on there our count up timer, I guess our counter that's for when we're going to have a new 7 Days to Die update, which we'll see if it hits 700. But we can keep an eye on that. And every episode that we do, we have show notes. So we're coming up on our 200th episode. So we got up at this point, we'll have 197 separate sets of show notes on there that you can go through and see the different things we talk about. Maybe it's something that we didn't really have a chance to cover. We mentioned at the end that we had the notes. You can go in there, click a link, and see the patch notes or whatever it is, an article regarding those different things. So, yeah. So this is it. Red Dead's coming out this week. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm ready.
Your body's ready. It's exciting.
It's preloaded. My PS4 is coming. My PS4 Pro is going to be here at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
I do have to. It's the one thing I've not done. I do need to purchase it. I'll probably do that tonight. Got to preload it. I have fast enough internet. It'll download in a couple hours. So probably do it tonight.
I don't know. I bet you mine will be a code. I could almost sell you mine for like cheaper.
I don't really want to wait though.
It'd be the pre-order.
I don't want to wait
till
the
pre-order, but the base one.
But I don't want to wait till the last minute though, because it'll take a billion years to download. Okay. Thank you, Brian. Friday night we'll be just hanging out in Discord playing some Red Dead. But join us for that. And Saturday night. Oh, actually, I guess I could open this up Saturday night. We're doing a special one-off thing. I don't see why not. This is a one-off special. I'm gonna screw it. Who cares? We're gonna be playing a thing on Saturday night. It's kind of like D&D. It's called Call of Cthulhu, and it's a one-off session. And if anybody is interested, don't kill me, Jonesy. If anybody is interested, ping me on Discord before Thursday. I need to know by Thursday.
I know like Ross was wanting to play, but I don't know that he would be consistent enough to play on the regular ones. But this would be a good one. I know he does play D&D.
It's a one-off.
A lot of experience with it.
It's some one-off thing. It's kind of like D&D.
Enjoy doing that.
So if you want to play, let us know by Thursday, and we do it Saturday night. You got to be around Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for probably 4 or 5 hours. That's when we do the session. So if you want to do that, let me know. Ping me. I'll get you in touch with Jonesy, and he'll walk you through everything you need. Okay. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Yep. And we will talk to you next week.
See ya.
Okay, folks. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. I'd really appreciate it if you come follow me on Twitch and check me out over there. It's twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Going to be trying to work on getting a better regular schedule with some of that stuff. And, of course, our website. You can find any of the information. Maybe you missed something, anything on the show. Check it out. Our website, infectionpodcast.com. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.